Good morning, everybody. John Gerber here, co-host of From the Rough podcast on this beautiful Saturday on FanStream Sports. Going to give you a little recap here on the Byron Nelson here in beautiful Dallas. We finally got a nice day here. It's sunny, it's warm, so it's going to kind of lend this golf course potentially is going to get a little bit firmer out there on the Saturday after the cut. Comes to an unprecedented 4 under par after yesterday's round. Going to recap a little bit today, guys, of our picks. Not looking great, but we're still hopeful for a few of these guys. Sometimes that happens when it comes to this. You know, golf handicapping is hard. So we're going to start off with that. We're going to preview maybe this weekend who's got a chance to win. You know, Scotty Scheffler's sitting there right there with a one-shot lead over Ryan Palmer. But, you know, you don't count some of these guys potentially coming back through the middle that can catch him with a low round of maybe 60. We've already seen that on the first day for Sun Yun No. So look for some exciting stuff going on this weekend at the Byron Nelson. Like we said, it's hot. The golf course is going to firm out. I don't think the scores nearly is going to be as low as they have been in the last couple days. But you never know out there. It's a big, wide open ballpark. So we'll find out what's going on after today's round. But let's jump into a little bit of our picks that we had at the beginning of the week. Not looking great, to be honest with you. You know, we're very transparent when it comes to this. Not looking great, but we'll go through them, kind of analyze it a little bit like we're going to start doing every Saturday here on this PGA Tour recap. So let's jump right in, guys. Our first pick on the board was Minwoo Lee at 35-1. Boy, he played really solid the first round, but just couldn't really catch up the second round. Made some mistakes, started swinging very poorly going into the end of the last round, knowing he couldn't make the cut. You know, like we said, 4 under was the cut this week, which is very low. So these guys shooting, 3-4 under par, the first couple of days didn't really get it done and make the cut. So he pressed a little bit. And so he missed the cut. Seamus Powers was our second pick at 38-1. He sits there at 7 under, had 2 solid rounds. But again, it's going to take a special couple rounds for him to potentially win this golf tournament when the leaders are 14 under par. So he's there at 38-1 with Seamus Powers. I really like the way he's playing, though. Listen, it's 14 under, 7-7, 14 under par to lead this after 2 rounds is a pretty daunting task, even for these guys. But 7 under is real solid. Scott Stallings at 66-1. I can't figure this guy out, man. Ever since he got in that fitness program, he's never really felt like he can contend. Only win 1 win on the PGA Tour. But I expect more things from Scott Stallings. I thought that number was great at 66-1, but obviously just can't get it done there, missing the cut. And our ham sandwich pick at 110-1, looking real strong after the first day. Kind of had a little lackluster day yesterday. Patton Kizzire, he's sitting there again at 6-7 under par. I don't think he's got the firepower to catch up if these guys shoot 3-4 under. Like we said at the beginning of the week, we thought around 25 would win, 24 would win. Especially with the conditions playing soft. It might not get there, but with the weather hot and humid and golf course firming out a little bit with the green. So we'll see what happens, but he is right there making the cut. 2 top 10 picks this week we had. Michael Kim at plus 475. Thought he'd get a little bit hotter with his performance last week. I was going to ride the hot hand a little bit, but nothing happened there. He missed the cut with Michael Kim. And Christian Bezadenhout at plus 550. Finish in that top 10. He currently sits around 35th, 36th place. He needs a couple hot days this weekend to really jump in that top 10. But he does have the firepower to do it, guys. So look for him to maybe make a move today. He's one of the longest guys on the PGA Tour. Unfortunately, there's only 3 par 5s on this golf course, so he's got a little extra. He doesn't have that extra par 5 to make up ground a little bit. But look for him to have a nice day on moving day on Saturday to maybe jump in that top 10. 2 top 20 picks this week, Justin Suh plus 280. Man, I really thought it was a good golf course for him. A little long for him, but the guy's solid. And I thought he'd play a little bit better in that win, but just didn't happen for him. And he misses the cut, and outside of that top 20, obviously missing the cut. Davis Thompson was our last pick on the board at plus 375 to finish in that top 20. Currently sits around 50th place. He needs a hot week. He's got the firepower to do it, to jump in that top 20. Luckily, we didn't have him in that top 10, but all we really need for him to do is jump in that top 20 to get us a little paycheck. Like I said, tough week this week, guys, at the Byron Nelson when it comes to the gambling part of it. We're going to have these weeks. We've had some solid progress over the past few weeks here to kind of catch up some ground. And with our unprecedented, 46, 16, and 4 with our matchups this year, No matchups today. I didn't really like anything on the board when it comes to the matchup stuff. That's what we talk about all the time. It's not definitively who's matched up, who you're going to think wins. You got to look at those odds. You have to look at those, laying those at 150, 160. Is that enough? You're going to give up almost, your money plus a half when it comes to that. And I don't really like doing that. I don't really like to bet anything over 150. But we could potentially look at some matchups tomorrow. We will see what's on the board. But again, not the greatest week. So let's watch a little bit today on this Saturday at the Byron Nelson. Like we said, weather's good. It is moving day. So there's potentially, even though with the warm weather, we're gonna have some pretty good scores. And hopefully these leaders don't really jump out to something, Scotty Scheffler shoots another, 64. It looks like he's gonna kind of separate himself. And he's really not notorious for blowing these big leads. If you look at him at the Masters, he had that lead. And he came through at the end, and these other golf tournaments said he's won. When he's up there at the lead, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes for have these guys to catch him. So maybe he'll slow down a little bit for us to make it a little bit better of a golf tournament. But good for Scotty Scheffler. He's had a few weeks off, so I didn't really know how kind of form he is, but it is home cooking for him, so it doesn't really surprise me that he is playing well when it comes to that. Good for Ryan Palmer. Look at Ryan Palmer sitting there in that second spot. He's such a good win player. He lives here in Fort Worth. So for him to kind of be in this spot, it's good for him. He's playing the PGA Championship next week with cooler weather. But good for Ryan Palmer. He's one of those guys on the PGA Tour that you really want to root for. But, good for him. So there's a little other scenario we're going to look at for tomorrow. Look at some of these guys potentially getting ready for the PGA Championship next week that maybe not be in contention this week, and they're kind of prepping themselves next week for the PGA Championship, and we will replay that, talk about that, preview that on Wednesday's show, like we always do, getting ready. If it's going to have a bigger show, we'll be in studio. We're going to have some guests, some PGA members to talk about the PGA. This is our, kind of our Masters, our biggest tournament that we have. So as PGA member, I'm very proud of that when it comes to something like that. So there's going to be a little game in between the game today and tomorrow. Some of these guys potentially getting ready for the PGA Championship. A little thing to look out for, with Jordan Spieth withdrawing this week. A little disappointment for the fans as an AT&T ambassador. Obviously, he needed some rest to get ready for the PGA Championship next week. It's got a little bit of a long stretch. I thought he might take Colonial off after the PGA because I know he's going to play Memorial. So look something for some information and some news about Jordan Spieth maybe getting ready for that PGA Championship, unfortunately, after the withdrawal this week. I don't want to get too much in the PGA Championship next week because I want to focus on this. So we may recap tomorrow what's going on Saturday, but we might just blast out what we like in the picks. And like we said, unfortunately, we do not have any picks for today. I just didn't like the board, what was going on. We were out there all week. Special shout out to Golf Central Magazine. Me and my co-host Tim Ham was reporting out there all week. So we had a really good feel of the golf course, what was going on. Unfortunately, it just didn't transition into our picks. And another shout out to First United Bank that hosted us in our hospitality suite. I thought that was great for them. We appreciate everything you did for us. And it was a great, nice little hospitality there that we had there on Thursday. So special shout out to them. We really appreciate that. So, hey, listen, that's what we got for today. Let's pull a little bit for Christian Bezuidenhout and maybe Davis Thompson to have a good round today and potentially jump up in that top 10 and top 20 spots. And we'll probably have some matchups for tomorrow. So stick out for us that on our Twitter handle at JGerberPJ We will be posting those in the morning. And then we will be recapping the Byron Nelson on Monday on our normal time and schedule, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, on our recap of the Byron Nelson shows, our Byron Nelson here in Dallas. So look out for that. So let's have a great Saturday, guys. Let's watch some golf, and hopefully Scotty Scheffler doesn't really pull away, and we can have some exciting golf today on moving day at the Byron Nelson. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great Saturday.